I wish I could tell you, get up in the morning, drink a green juice, make up your bed, and your life is gonna get better. But I can't because I don't do that, and our case is more complicated than that, and it takes far more effort to feel good with the autoimmune condition. Since these type of videos usually tend to attract new viewers to my channel, viewers who are not familiar with my life and me, let me properly introduce myself to you. My name is Alicia, I am 39 years old and I suffer with multitude of physical and mental health issues. To name the few would be hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's disease, celiac disease, complex PTSD, infertility, and recurring depression, just to name a few. Despite such a complicated health situation and all the curveballs that life has thrown at me, I managed to make the most out of my life so far. I work very hard to do the most and to look my best and to feel my best. And I'm here today to share with you the tips and everything I do in all the aspects in my life to make me feel my best, look my best, and do the most up to my abilities despite a multitude of autoimmune conditions and other health issues. If you suffer with health issues related to thyroid disorder, I mean issues related to hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, or Hashimoto's disease, I strongly encourage you to watch my previous video in which I talk in great length about the symptoms of all these diseases, about the progression of my own disease, about observation that I had over 25 years of observing progression of my disease, about what happens when you leave it untreated or neglected, and about my personal experience with death scare that I had due to intestine perforation. So if you are someone who struggles with autoimmune condition, particularly thyroid related, you will benefit greatly from watching this video. By the way, I want to thank you all who already watched this video, all who commented under this video. That motivated me to make today's video. Thank you all so much for huge amount of words of support, encouragement, understanding, as well as thank you so much for sharing your personal stories. Some of them were very painful and very sad to read. I teared up reading some of your stories because they are very, very hard, and in general, lots of people who don't know about thyroid-related autoimmune conditions don't know how much those diseases can ruin your life. And yeah, my heart goes to all of you who took a time out of your day to watch this video and comment and share your story. You sharing your story helps others. It spreads more awareness about the condition, that we all benefit from awareness being spread about this condition, and also support that you gave me encouraged me to film more about this condition. And today I want to share with you 6 tips that will help you with managing your autoimmune condition. Now, putting an effort in managing the 6 aspects of your life that I'm going to talk about today will determine whether or not you will have flare-ups, as well as its severity and frequency. So if you will spend extra energy and effort into managing these 6 aspects, it will help you manage your autoimmune condition better, and as a result of it, will give you a better quality of life, and I'm an example of that. The reason why I'm filming that is my personal experience, as well as all the comments that you shared with me. We both struggle with the same thing, which is if you are diagnosed with autoimmune condition, particularly thyroid related, what you most often hear from a doctor is, well, this is what you have, that's it, nothing you can do about it, just take medications for the rest of your life, and that's it. And there are things you can do about it. I'm not saying that all doctors are overlooking this topic, but my personal experience is that 90% of doctors and specialist encounters that I have when I was seeking treatment for my thyroid were purely based on medications and overlooking all these 6 aspects that I'm going to talk about today. And those 6 aspects, from my observation of my health and progression of my disease, those aspects are crucial in mitigating flare-ups. Also, before we get to it, you know how much I hate disclaimers, but in current day and time we can't do anything without it. So this video is not medical advice, and if you suffer with any sorts of condition, always seek medical advice. I also do that. Having that said, I also take levothyroxine every single day, and I think that this is something that I will be doing for the rest of my life. If you want to hear more about my medication mishaps and story, including radioactive iodine treatment of my thyroid gland, watch the previous video that I already mentioned. And today, let's just talk about what we can do to take our health and our condition in our own hands, our fate. We have to do it because, you know, this condition is a bitch, to be honest. And if you leave it unattended to, untreated, it will ruin your life. It will silently, surely, but slowly progress every year of your life and will become worse. Thyroid issues is a thing that attacks thyroid, obviously, and thyroid, despite lack of knowledge in society, how important thyroid regulates so many body functions. So if that starts lacking, sooner or later, be sure that other aspects of your life, which means other systems in your body, will be affected. And this happened to me. However, as I said, you have to put an effort, and this effort is a lot of effort. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that these 6 tips that I'm gonna share with you, you can do it overnight and this is like a piece of cake and this is so easy to do. No, it's hard. Each of these life changes is very hard, and it will require of you motivation, determination, and strength to last in those decisions and in those changes. But it's worth it because it's you against the disease. If you will not do things to help yourself, it will take over your life. It will slowly progress. It will affect everything if you will not manage it. Yeah, as I said, anyway, it will ruin your life if you will not try to help yourself. And it's not that bad, as doctor says. It's not like nothing you can do about it. You can do lots of things. So anyway, without further ado, let me start and share with you 6 areas of life that and will decrease quality of your life. So tip number 1. Tip number 1 is avoiding stress at any cost. Now, there's nothing more annoying than if you go to a doctor and doctor will tell you, try not to stress. Okay, thanks. If I knew it's so easy, I would stop stressing long ago. I know it's not so easy. It's not like we live in a day and time that we can eliminate all the stressors from our life. The life is stressful, the life is fast, the work is stressful, managing house, family, kids, partnership, finances, it's all stressful and it all adds up and it all exacerbate flare-ups as well. But what you can do, the bare minimum to avoid stress, is to create situations in your life that will lessen the amount of stress that each of us inevitably will experience anyway. By this, I mean, look into your job. If your job is the biggest stressor in your life, it's very harmful. You don't have a health to afford to stay in a job that will contribute to the further health loss. You don't. And believe me, I'm not sitting here all comfortable. Maybe you think my life is easy. I'm almost 40, and believe me, it was not easy for vast majority of it, but I made changes and made progressions through gritted teeth and through tears sometimes, but it was worth it. I spent years working in a very stressful corporate environment. That is, I was working in a bank, I was working in a consulting company, I was working under huge pressure, I was working facing targets every single day, and that was extremely unrewarding, stressful, tension generating job. And after 6 years or more, I came to conclusion, what am I doing it for? You know, I was 38 kilos at some point because I was that stressed, and my thyroid hormones, TSH, were through the roof, and I was just a shadow of myself. And you know, it doesn't have to be this way. And I know that making a change in this department is easier said than done. But it's like the last resort to save yourself. You have to do it, and it will probably initially get worse because the stress of change, the stress of going through change might cause you flare up. That happens in my case as well. Every time I go through a huge life change, like moving countries, which I've done 6 times already, that causes me a flare up too, because every change generates some sort of stress. And that will not go unnoticed for your thyroid affected body, but in the long term is worth it to do those changes. So I changed the job. I changed a job which was less stressful and paid me more. That required me a courage and the bravery of moving to another country and leaving my previous life behind, but in the long run and in the perspective paid off. Another thing is managing your relationships. If you have relationships in your life that causing you so much stress, whether it's a relationship with your partner or with your fake friends or fake friends at work, in general, surround yourself with people that adds more negativity to your life than positivity. It's worth looking into that and making changes. As I said, I know already it's going to be difficult, but again, you can't afford losing your health over stressors that other people provide you that could be easily avoided. So try to choose relationships wisely and surround yourself with people who bring solace, joy, and warmth rather than there's a saying, people who bring life rather than knife. All I said so far may seem very obvious, but I think it's very important to mention that because in the speed of running through tasks every day in life and in the cycle of life, which is very fast nowadays, we forget that sometimes we run ourselves into a rabbit hole, job, of mortgage, of toxic relationship, of all that, and that indirectly exacerbates our pre-existing health condition. And having that in mind, what we are suffering with, we have to manage our life choices and decisions accordingly. That leads me to number 2 on my list. Number 2 is related to diet. If you have this condition, you probably read already about the diet with Hashimoto. My experience with the diet changes came from my own very bad experience. I had to learn the hard way. I was not told by any doctor that I visited, and I visited many doctors, private clinics in a couple of different countries. None of them told me to make any dietary changes, so I was eating bread and gluten unawareingly, despite developing celiac disease in the meantime, to the point that it led me to intestine perforation, where I could have almost died. But putting that aside, it's very important to adjust your diet accordingly and avoid things that affect your thyroid. So if you suffer with Hashimoto disease, Hashimoto is a permanent inflammation of a thyroid gland. So what you want to do, you don't want to eat things or drink things that will contribute to increasing inflammation in your body. So your diet should be anti-inflammatory diet. I'm not going to go in great lengths of what I eat exactly every single day, but I'll just tell you what I avoid and what I focus on. So I have a little list here not to forget. So what I eat is mostly whole foods, veggies, meats, fish. I drink lots of water. I use lots of anti-inflammatory spices. I cook a lot. I cook at home, therefore I know what goes into every meal. And even in Australia, it's very easy to accommodate dietary requirements and need if going to the restaurants. However, sometimes if I go out and I inform the staff about dietary requirements, sometimes it still happens that it affects me. If you have Hashimoto's disease, you probably maybe unlucky as me and have gut issues, like all the intestine issues is affected. So it's very, very important to know your food triggers. Having that said, actually I'm planning to do a food allergy test soon. So if you are interested in this type of things, I will update you soon about it. But also as important to what to eat is what not to eat, what to avoid. That's actually even more important. So from my perspective, observing my disease-affected body for over 25 years, what serves me best to avoid is gluten, lactose. I don't eat any fast foods at all. I don't eat anything processed. I don't eat processed meats. I don't buy condiments. I don't buy sauces. I don't drink soda. I don't drink sweetened drinks and beverages. I don't eat anything deep fried. Yeah, the list goes on. And those are not easy eliminations to make out of your diet, especially if you are living in the country, like Western diet habits based country. And if you live fast-paced life, sometimes the easy choices is to reach for something quick, a fast food, something deep fried. Let's face it, those things are tasty. I like it. And even yesterday or a couple of days ago, I said to my husband, I'm craving a fish mac from McDonald's, but I will never had it. The last time I had it was when I was in primary school, and I just don't know why it came to my head to have this craving. But obviously I will never have it because I know that I would suffer so much. So it is so hard to eliminate so many things, but it's worth it. You will feel better. Let's face it, those things are worth eliminating from a diet for everyone, not only people with autoimmune conditions, because those things are unhealthy for anyone. Even a healthy person, if consumes processed food, fast foods, and carbonated soda drinks, will sooner or later feel effect on their body. But if you have autoimmune conditions, if you have inflammation in the body, even more so, you should eliminate that. Not only for the reason that it will make you feel sluggish, less energetic and unhealthy, and will cause you more frequent and more longer lasting flare-ups, but also for the reason that if you have an autoimmune condition, it also affects your metabolism. So in my case, I noticed changes in my metabolism over 30. And as much as before I didn't have to focus on what I eat that much, over 30 I had to start minding my diet, because metabolism is affected by autoimmune conditions, and if you just eat whatever, you will gain weight faster than people that don't have this type of diseases and conditions. So that's something worth keeping in mind, because with already pre-existing autoimmune conditions, you want to keep your body in the best shape, the most fit shape, and the most healthy shape. As we know, letting ourselves go into obese state will trigger avalanche of adding more health issues to our body, such as obesity and all the other issues that having excess weight may lead us to. So definitely those dietary changes is something that you have to do if you want to mitigate your flare-ups. That is not to say that you have to obsessively watch everything you eat, because if you are turning it into a control freak obsession and worry and read every label, that may cause stress as well. That is not to say that I'm perfect, that I'm doing everything by the book. I drink coffee. I, from time to time, drink alcohol. I really like a glass of wine. I like a good drink. I wish I could have more of it. But obviously, I have to be reasonable and keep in mind the effect it has on my health. So yeah, I'm not having a perfect diet, but having the knowledge of the groups that should be eliminated from your diet and the groups that should be focused on helps to make healthy choices every day. And if one day you will have a coffee or a couple of glasses of wine with your friends if you go out, it's not gonna throw everything off. It's not gonna ruin all your hard work, unless you are having gluten. When you have a celiac disease, that will ruin a lot and throw you off and your guts for a long time. But I mean, small things here and there are okay, unless in general you are making healthy choices. Let's move on to number 3. Since we speak about food, it's very important to mention supplements when it comes to managing thyroid-related issues. Thyroid doesn't work properly if you have hypo or hyperthyroidism or Hashimoto disease, and you need to support it, because unhealthy and improperly working thyroid will affect your gut issues and will affect lots of other systems in your body that I already discussed in my previous video. Therefore, it's worth to support it, it's worth to help it. So the supplements that provide a great deal of help when you have thyroid related issues are zinc, let me just have a full list, selenium, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin B complex, iron, magnesium, curcumin, which is a turmeric, which is a spice. So let me just quickly go back to that. I take collagen pills, which also contain selenium and zinc. Those are often a combination of, if you take supplements for like good skin and good hair, they already will have selenium, zinc in them, and collagen. So that's really important. And I notice that I feel better when I take them, and I notice that I feel worse when I don't. I went on a break from them for a while because I couldn't find the one that I used to take here in Australia, and I could even notice that my TSH blood results were different. I'm not saying that it's solely because of that, there are lots of factors always included, but taking those supplements definitely helps my thyroid hormones to stay in a good range, along with taking my levothyroxine, obviously. I take vitamin D because people who suffer with thyroid issues often tend to have very low vitamin D level. I live in a very sunny country with plenty of sun, but I avoid sun exposure. If you watch my channel, you know it. I avoid sun exposure to keep my skin looking good and youthful, and this is probably also the reason why, despite being almost 40, I don't have any wrinkles, because sun damage is the biggest contributor to wrinkles, as we all know. Sometimes people say that I had Botox. I never had Botox, so when people say this, thank you very much. I take it as a compliment that I look so good at this age that it's impossible to believe that I achieved this result without having Botox. But I didn't have Botox. It's just purely good skincare and avoiding sun for all those years. Anyway, I take magnesium as well because it helps me with managing sleep, which I'll get to as well. Sleep is a very important factor in keeping your flare-ups at bay. And lots of people who suffer with autoimmune conditions, they have some sort of trauma as a root cause of developing these conditions. And if you already have some sort of trauma, you will have problems with proper sleep. So magnesium is a natural thing that helps you fall asleep easier and have more peaceful sleep. So I take that. I take iron because the reason why all these vitamins and microelements that are already in the food often don't get absorbed properly is because people with autoimmune conditions already have compromised gut. If your gut is compromised, it means that the good stuff from food will not be absorbed properly, and you can eat all the veggies in the world, and if they are not absorbed properly, you will not have enough of these microelements in your body. I, ever since I remember, suffer with very low ferritin levels. That also happens to people who have IBS issues, leaky gut. So it's good to take iron, especially for women, because we lose so much blood every month. I also take probiotics. I started that pretty recently. I do it in effort of increasing my good gut bacteria level. I want to work on bringing my intestines to a better condition because I think they've been compromised for the last 5 years. Unhealthy gut contributes to so many health issues and also exacerbate existing ones. It's very important to take probiotics. You can take supplements or you can eat probiotic-rich foods such as sauerkraut, yogurt, and all the fermented foods such as kimchi, and there are many more, kombucha. So that's important. Also, turmeric pills, like curcumin pills. That turmeric is a spice that you can use with your food. However, if you use it, it's important to combine it with black pepper because black pepper enables proper absorption of turmeric. And if you are buying it in a form of pills, it's also important to have a look if it comes with pepperine. Curcumin and pepperine mixed together well, like what? Like you and me in this video today as we have this conversation, because I think that exchanging our experiences is beneficial both ways. I also benefit lots from your comments, and in general I think to both of us it gives a feeling that we are in this together, and you are not alone. Trust me, you are not alone. And having so many views in my previous video and so many comments made me feel better too, that I'm not alone in it either. Number four would be managing sleep. I already touched up on this lightly in the previous point I was discussing. Sleep and allowing proper time for body regeneration and rejuvenation is very important. You cannot run on empty, you cannot not run on minimum. Your body already has to work harder to provide the same level of functioning and energy expenditure as throughout the day as people who are healthy, because people who are healthy and going through daily tasks, they feel it easier than you, because your body has to work harder to provide you the same amount of energy so you can face your daily tasks. You have to properly rest. You cannot stay up late. You cannot run on minimum sleep, and it is really very important. The problem is if you want to sleep but you can't because you have the monkey brain, you are overwhelmed with stress, you are overwhelmed with all those thoughts that come to you, and they usually come at night, or you have any sorts of PTSD or trauma. And I know lots of people with autoimmune conditions suffer with that, unfortunately, as well. That's very, very hard to quiet those thoughts and have a restful sleep. And then it's like a vicious cycle, because you didn't get a proper sleep, so you wake up tired, and you are already tired because you have autoimmune condition and Hashimoto's disease, and your thyroid doesn't work properly, so you are already tired and exhausted, and on top of that you didn't sleep well. So and it goes on, and then you don't have energy to cook well for you, or to make a good food choices for yourself, or you don't have energy to exercise. It all affects all the other aspects of how you go through the day and how you could possibly help yourself if you are not that tired. So my solution is to take magnesium. That helps with sleeping. If you have problems of emotional nature or mental health issues that are affecting you to that level that it's hard to manage by yourself, seek help in that department. Go to a specialist, go to therapy, ask for medical help if needed. Do everything to help yourself. Don't leave it untreated, and don't leave it on your own, because it will only get worse. And if it gets worse, those conditions are connected. If one goes down, it will pull everything else down. Let me give you an example. If like with musculoskeletal system, if your one leg is wounded, you will put more strain on the healthy one, and over time the healthy one will also get affected and start aching, because you put too much strain on this one, because this one doesn't work properly. So the same with body systems. If one doesn't work properly and it's too much strain on it, it will start affecting others, because others have to now work overtime to compensate for this one. Fix your sleep and take care of your mental health. And if you want me to talk more about mental health side of autoimmune conditions and other things that I already mentioned in this video in regards to mental health, let me know in the comments. I can make a different video about it, same as I can make a different video about what exactly I eat in a day. If you are interested in that, I'll be willing to do that too. Anyway, let's go to number 5. Number 5 is exercise. Exercise is very important, and I know that everyone hates to hear it. I also hate to hear it, to be honest. I don't like exercising. I was always the person that never liked exercising. However, I don't know if it comes from the fact that I actually don't like exercises, or because ever since I was a child I was tired. Therefore, I didn't have an energy, willingness, motivation, need or interest to exercise, because I already felt bad. But throughout the years, especially as I get older, I see that exercising helps with managing autoimmune condition. However, it is very important to choose your exercise wisely. You should not choose very exploitative type of exercises such as cardio, such as CrossFit, such as running, such as something that is like really strenuous on your body. That may unfortunately fire back on you on the other way and cause you inflammation, because you already have inflammation, and doing high intensity workouts increases cortisol, adrenaline in the body, and it may lead to increasing inflammation already. Now this is something that we want to avoid. This is something that we want to decrease. So what I would recommend, it would be Pilates, could be yoga. Keep in mind, especially for men watching, because I know that there are lots of men with this issue as well, Pilates and yoga is not the same. Yoga is more like focusing on breathing and more stretching, however also strengthening exercises. But Pilates is really serious strength and resistance training. It will, if you don't know, if you never tried, believe me, it's not as easy as it looks, especially reformer Pilates. You will walk out with sore muscles. You will have sore muscles the next day if you've never done it before, and you will see results. It is good form of activity for people with Hashimoto because it's not too tiring. I mean, it is. It's not to the point that it throws your body to a stress mode. It helps burn calories. It helps to keep yourself fit. It helps to keep yourself toned. I actually like it. I mean, I like what it does to me. I don't like working out still, but I like Pilates so much to the point that I even did a Pilates instructor course. So if you care to know, I'm a certified Pilates instructor as well. Having that said, I'm obviously aware that attending to Pilates classes, especially reformer Pilates, may be costly, same as going to any gym or any other form of exercises, but it doesn't have to be that. Another form of movement, an exercise that I would greatly recommend, that would really help you and you would benefit from that, is walking. Going for long walks, going for faster walks, not necessarily like a cardio walks, but just moving your body, just making recommended amount of steps per day. You can Google it, what's recommended nowadays by World Health Organization, something around 7,000 to 8,000 steps for a woman. And I think targeting around that number every day will help you to keep your body in a good posture, to keep your stomach toned and flat, to help you shed excess calories by just speeding metabolism. Because if you walk a lot, if you move around a lot, your metabolism is kept on its toes, and it's just working and it's moving, and it doesn't get complacent and it doesn't get lazy, and it just does its job, although it has it harder than metabolism of other people who are healthy, but with a right pampering and encouragement, it gets up and go. That's why I look the way I look. But you know, it's constant work, it's a constant thinking, and every day you have to make a right choice, like things that you would not want to do because you don't feel like it. But anyway, this is what we've been given, and this is what we have to deal with, and we have to do it for no one else other than ourselves. My God, I'm talking so much that I'm out of breath already. I'm out of breath very often due to my condition, but it's a lot of talking, but hopefully, we are on track so far. So far we discussed avoiding stress, dietary changes, supplement support, managing sleep and exercise. So that's 5 points. And that leads me to point number 6. Last but not least, number 6 is support. It is very important factor to have in your life if you suffer with any type of condition, especially such a serious and debilitating one as thyroid issues. The reason why I'm saying that is because lots of you also voiced that in the comments, that you face daily lack of understanding from society, because thyroid issues, Hashimoto disease, is not such a commonly known thing that people know to what lengths it can affect one's life. Therefore, especially if you don't look sick, like me, I am aware that I don't look that sick as I am. People assume that you're just lazy, you are making excuses, you just take an easy way, you just don't want to force yourself, without knowing how you feel inside physically. and what a havoc thyroid hormones and the antibodies do to your body. You will not get understanding from everyone, let's just face it. And don't worry about that, because just because someone lacks knowledge in the field doesn't diminish the way you feel, doesn't decrease your condition, doesn't erase your symptoms, and doesn't make you, okay, since you think this, I'm gonna do this and that. Just because someone doesn't get it, understand it, or lacks knowledge, it doesn't mean that you still don't feel it. So it's very important to have this understanding and support, at least with your nearest circle, like at least people that you live with, whether it's your partner, if you live with your parents, it's your parents, if you don't have a partner, live by yourself, your closest friends, people in your very, very close circle. It's very important to talk to them about it. Maybe you've been diagnosed recently, maybe it's a new disease. It's good to give them articles to read on it, or show them videos that they could watch, like give them my previous video to watch where I explained how people affected by this condition feel. So therefore they can get better understanding of what this disease is, and by extension of that they can provide you support that you need. I'm not saying that they have to tiptoe around you or babysit you, but at least have an understanding that there are days, there are good days and there are bad days. And if you have a bad day, you need to lie down sometimes. You need to take it slowly. You need to walk slower because you're out of breath. You need to just take a rest. You don't feel like attending this A, B, C or D today because you are so tired. And this is not exaggerating. It's just your condition which goes through a flare-up. There are flare-ups that are more pronounced, that last for weeks and they are very severe. But there also may be flare-ups that you just really have a bad day. And one day you may wake up feeling really good and energetic and in a better spirits and health, but there is a day that you wake up and you feel like you've been hit by the truck. You are very tired, you have no energy to even get out of bed, and you are just dragging getting out of bed because every cell of your body screams, give me a break. So it's important to surround yourself with people who understand where it comes from and provide compassion and understanding and a shoulder to cry on if needs be. God, I talk a lot, but it all is based on my own experience, and I know that if you will implement these tips in your life, it will help you with that condition. It will help you to increase the quality of your life despite having this condition. If you have anything to add to that from your own experience or experience of someone that you know, you are more than welcome to let me know in the comments. If you want me to talk about something more specific when it comes to autoimmune conditions or PTSD or any health issues that I mentioned already, let me know in the comments. Do share your experience, do share your stories, do share anything you want to in the comment section, because it helps greatly you, so you can say it and share it with the world. It helps those who read because they can benefit and get something from your comment, and it helped me. So subscribe in my channel if you haven't done that yet. Like this video so we can get this video to the biggest amount of people possible, so it can help others as well. And I think that is it for today. This is my 6 tips how to manage your life with autoimmune conditions, my 6 areas of life that you can work on, that you can take your fate in your own hands and help yourself a little. Don't rely on medications solely. However, as I mentioned again, medications are necessary and don't skip those. Don't skip those. And I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, leave some emoji in the comment apart from just a comment, so I know how many people made it this far. And thank you so much for being in it with me, and I hope we will continue to support each other on the journey to recovery and on the journey to feeling better. Thank you so much for watching again. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye. Have a great day.